Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of ExcelR at Andheri East, a prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we are at the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a light classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Wanna get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. ExcelR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Hello, hello everyone. Good evening to all of you. Am I audible to all of you? Can I get a quick response? Good evening to all of you. So today, in the previous two classes, what we learned. Let's just talk about first what we learned in the previous two classes, and then we start what we are going to learn in this classes. So in the previous two classes, we learned about cybersecurity, importance of cybersecurity. We also know about some types of attacks like DOS, DDoS, phishing attacks, some basic attacks which are basically not complete ethical hacking attacks, which are basically attacks which can service down your website or steal information by using social engineering. Also, we know how to install Kali Linux in our operating system. Also, we see how we install ISO image. Is my voice is not audible? Is my voice audible to you or not? Okay, okay. So we see different things like how we install Linux in our operating system in a virtual box. We see how we install a virtual box ISO image. Also, we see how we install a ISO image. We also see some types of Linux command, how we use this command to manipulate or get use of Linux. We see pwd commands, we see cd, ls, ifconfig, and different commands. In today's class, we are going to know about networks. What is network? What is IP? What is MAC? What is VPNs? How IP address is helping us to find someone? How someone can locate us using IP addresses? What is MAC addresses? How does VPN does works? How does proxy works? How we access dark web and different things. So basically, today we are going to know about networks. Some students have a doubt why we are going to know about networks in cybersecurity. See, in cybersecurity and ethical hacking, network is very important because when we are performing different attacks, the most important thing is network. So you need to understand about network. You need to understand about IP address. You need to understand about MAC addresses. You need to understand about proxies. You need to understand about VPNs. You also need to understand how these things work, how these things work actually work, what is happening behind the computer, what is happening when I click enter on something, what is happening when we get or receive something on internet. So we need to know this thing. When we know about these things, at that time we are very good or able to understand cybersecurity very easily. So you can say network or networking is the foundation of cybersecurity. Without the knowledge of networks or networking or how internet actually work, how the messages which we send, how it will go, how the message is encrypted, or how the messages is not encrypted, and different things. So basically the importance of network is very important. So we need to understand network before going into cybersecurity. So in today's session, we are going to know about networks. Yeah, just give me a second. I think I am audible. Sir, your voice is not clear. Shalila, I think my voice is very audible. I think you have some network issue because I get a response. Am I audible or not? Can I get a quick response in the chat box? Yeah, thank you. Can I do CCNA? For network. Yeah, CCNA is very good for networking. Cisco Certified Network Associate is a very good courses for networking. You get a very all the important topics, how actually routers and different network devices actually works, how these devices manages different devices, how it will connect automatically, how it will disconnect, how it will block, and different things. So CCNA is a very good course for understanding network completely. So CCNA is very good. So do you have any questions from the previous two classes? If you have any question, you can ask me in the next 5 minutes. After that, we are going to start networks. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Do you have any question? Should we start or should I wait? What is the full form of CCNA? Cisco Certified Network Associate. If you have missed the yesterday class, you can see the classes on the your LMS module, where you can see on your dashboard. You can see the previous classes. Selenium. You can practice Linux on Linux operating system. I think in yesterday class we all installed Linux operating system. So basically we are practicing Linux in our operating system in Linux terminal. Yeah, after 15 days, I'm telling you the basic step how you can go in deep in cybersecurity and how it can help you to achieve your dream job. See, one thing which I'm going to tell you today. See, whenever whatever you are learning from day one to day 15, remember whatever you are learning, just take a snapshot. If you are trying to attack something, or if you are performing some network scan, or if you are using your Linux operating system, if you are using some type of commands, just at that time, take a snapshot and upload it on LinkedIn and write it about the post that we did on this day, or we performed this type of action on this day. It will make your LinkedIn more interactive, and it will help you to gain jobs or receive more job letters than others. So make your LinkedIn interactive by using this session. You can also post this session. You can also tell about other people about this session. Also, you can post different things like whatever you command you are using. If you attack something, you also do this. Sir, can we get a job in cybersecurity without certificate licensing? Yeah, in cybersecurity, remember the most important thing is your skills. If you have very good skills or very high skills, at that time you are very easily able to get a job. Can you share? I will share it once the class is over. I will just tell you my LinkedIn ID. For now on, I think we should start about networking. Should I start teaching you on networking? Should we start? Can I get a quick response in the chat box? Yes. Very good. So right now, package in cybersecurity. See, cybersecurity packages are basically around 5 to 6 LPA as a fresher, and if you have experience like 5 to 6 years, you can expect around 25 to 35 lakhs. Okay, now we are going to start our today's class, which is basically about networks. What is actually networks? I think you are able to see my screen. Just give me a second. I will share my screen. I think just give me a second. Is my screen visible to all of you? Okay. So right now we are going to know about Linux or we sorry, right now we are going to know about networks. So just give me a second. I will open my notepad. So I think my screen is visible to you. So first of all, what is actually network? What is actually network? See, network is basically a combination, or you can say a group of computers which are interconnected to each other and sharing information. If you connect five computers through LAN and you can share data between five computers, it is known as a network of five computers. So basically, network means a connection of groups or a connection of computers nodes which can share data. Network can be on both level. It can be on very wide level or it can be on a very low level. You can create network with at least two computers. For creating any network, you need minimum of two computers. If you have two computers, you can create a network. If you have 10 computers, you can create a network. See, you need minimum two computers to create a network. Basically, the simplest definition of network is a group of computers which can simply transfer data between them or transfer messages, data and different things. So network is combination of computers or group of computers which are interconnected and share data. I think everyone has understand what is network. See, why network is very important. See, network can be at very level. See, I think many of you did not understand what is network right now. See, I think everyone has phone and every has one connected to internet access. Everyone was sharing data right now. So many of you have think, sir, right now we are not connected to any computer. So how this is a network? Many of you think that right now we are not connected to internet. See, whenever you want to get something, for example, if I want to just give me a second. For example, right now you see I am on screen and I suppose I want to access kali.org. So if I type here kali.org, I'll get a website like this. I'll get this form. But what is this happening here? See, if I just click on right side and see, just click here inspect, you can see I will get some type of course. This is the code of that particular website. I'll get this code. So is this always mandatory that this particular website or this code was stored somewhere? Because if it was not stored somewhere, I am not able to get it. So basically, this particular thing was stored on a particular server or someone else's computer, and that particular server was connected to internet, and it was allow everyone to access that file. So when I will search kali.org, it will go on internet, then it will search for the kali.org server, and from the server it will go and fetch the particular file and give it to me. So basically we see whatever we are accessing on internet, it is obviously stored somewhere. For example, if you are accessing some type of file on cloud platform, for example, I think everyone uses multiple cloud platform like Google Cloud. If you have stored multiple photos of your on Google Cloud and you want to share your photos, if someone you can give your link, a share link, so someone can download the photo. You can also log into someone else's phone or someone else's computer and get your photos. So see, everything was stored at somewhere and we use the network to fetch that particular data on ourselves. So basically here we see network is basically helping us to transfer data from one place to another place, and it was a connection of millions and billions of devices which was transferring data every single minute or every single second. So I think everyone is clear about what is network. Am I right? Everyone has clear about? Sir, I am getting an error. Alvin Kingston. I'll just give see the error. Alvin, you need to. I think you did some type of problem in the starting by specifying or configuring the virtual box. Just go and watch the video again so you can do it from actually right. If you just miss a single thing, it will be problematic. So basically, network is simply transfer of data. So basically, network is simply transfer of data between multiple connected devices. So if you connect multiple computers together and transfer data between them, it is known as network. So basically, network is the connection of multiple computers which can transfer data to each other. This is simply network. So I think everyone is clear about network. Can I get a quick response in the chat box? Okay, so now we are going to know the second thing about is what is if now we know network. Now there's a terminology come in network IP address and MAC address. So what is IP address and what is MAC address? Network is a medium which connects multiple computers. Yeah, you can say it is a medium also. So second question is after network, what is IP and what is MAC? So see, this is the second question. What is IP and MAC? See, everyone hear about IP address and MAC address. Whenever we are learning about cyber security, every person near see and sometimes listen IP address. We also see what is IP and MAC sometime in movies. Some people say you can hack by your IP. So what is actually your IP address? See, if you go on here and search type and simply type CMD, and if you open your CMD, and in CMD if you type, just give me a second, I'll just make it big. I think it was bigger to everyone. If I simply type here ifconfig, I think it is a command ipconfig. ipconfig. Just give me a second, guys. Just give me a second. I think I will get in. Just give me a second. Am I audible to you again? Am I audible, everyone? Okay, see. So here, if I simply type ifconfig on my command prompt, what will actually happen? See, when I type ifconfig and I enter, I will get some type of this type of information. You can see here we get an IPv4 address. In everyone laptop, I think everyone able to see your IP address. If you have your phone in your phone, you can also see your IP address. Just go on your phone in about section and about if you go on a specific network connection, you can see your IP address. See, your IP address is a 4 digit, four you can say four octet system where 192.168.249.71. Your IP address is like this. Everyone has IP address and someone has 192.168.249, someone 72, someone has 73. Remember, every single person in the world has different IP. None one have same IP. Every person has different IP. Not everyone has same IP. So this is IP address. But what is actually the IP address? So what is this actually IP address? We can see IP address, but what is actually it mean? See, IP address basically an address which was given by us to the ISP. IP address was assigned by the ISP. Who is ISP right now? ISP is your internet service provider. Internet, internet, internet service provider. So who is the internet service provider? See, internet service provider are those particular organizations, or you can say those business associations, which can supply you the internet or provide you the internet. Everyone has different type ISP. For right now I am using an Airtel Wi-Fi, so my ISP is Airtel. If I am using a Geo Wi-Fi, then my ISP is Geo. And if I am using different Wi-Fi providers Wi-Fi, then my ISP is different. So ISP basically is those persons who provide us the internet. ISP give us an IP address. What does it give us? An IP address. So what is IP address? We know what is IP address. We don't know right now IP address, but we know who provide us IP address. IP address provided by the ISP. Why we need IP address? The second question is that why we need IP address? Why we need IP address? Why we need IP address? What is the importance? Why it is so important in the internet IP address? See, if you have a house and you want electricity in your house, you need to get an electric connection. For electric connection, when you want electric connection, when you go for buying the getting electric connection, you will get an electricity number. Without electricity number, you can't get an electric connection. So you need an electric connection, then you get an electric number, and then you get use the electricity. Before electric connection, you are not able to use the electricity in your house. So see, whenever you want to use electricity in your house, you need the electric connection. If your house does not have electric connection, at that time you are not able to use the electricity. So IP address is basically an address, or you can say a thing, you can say an address, or you can say a provider which is help us to access internet. Without IP, we are not able to access internet. So if we don't have IP address at that time, we are not able to access internet. Remember, if you don't have IP address, you are not going to access internet. So basically, what is IP address? IP address is an address which allow us to access internet, and it was provided by the ISP. And the ISP of different person have different. Now I think everyone has understand what is IP address. Am I right? To identify the user. See, IP address is not used to identify the user. IP address is not used to identify the user. Even if many thing was used by IP address to identify, but the main purpose of IP address is to able you or give you a proper way to access internet, because without IP address you are not able to access internet. Simple definition. The simplest definition of IP address is IP address is an address which allow us or make us able to access internet. Basically, the simplest definition of IP address, that IP address allow us or make us able to use internet. So basically, IP address is basically make us able to use internet. Also, when we are using IP address, it also gives some type of information, like if you have IP address of someone else, you can know their particular location, you can know what type of phone or what type of device he was using, you can know different things from IP address. So this is what happening with IP address. Second thing, what is now, I think everyone know about IP address. So what happened when we turn on VPN on our desktop? We are going to that. We are also knowing about what is VPN, so just wait. Second thing, I think everyone know about what is IP address and who provide us IP address and why IP address important. So IP address is basically an address which we need to access internet, and it was provided by the ISP. Second thing is, what is MAC address? See, a phone has two addresses. First is the IP and second is the MAC address. IP address is basically your internet protocol address which you get whenever you turn on your data. And one more thing about IP address changes every time. Right now, if you have your phone, you can see right now if you turn on your data, you can see your IP address. Turn off your data, and after some time, after 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour ago, if you go and see your IP address will be changed. So IP address is basically changing. So IP address is not always same. The second thing is MAC. What is MAC address? See, if you have a house, you also have a house number. Am I right? And house number is permanent. House number cannot be changed. So MAC address is the physical address of any device, any network device or any device which can access the internet. So MAC address is basically the physical address of any device and which cannot be changed. So basically, every single person has their laptop and they have their MAC addresses in their laptop, and MAC address cannot be changes. So this is what MAC address, and MAC address does not provided by the ISP. It was like a physical address of your phone. And remember one thing: MAC address of every device in the world is different. It is not same. MAC address in the every phone, every network device in the world is different. None of the person have same MAC address or same IP addresses. So this is what IP and MAC. So basically, IP address is an address which was used for accessing internet, where MAC address is the physical address or permanent address of our device, where IP is a logical address. Does anyone have any doubts? NIC. NIC is basically network interface card. MAC address. See, for example, let me just give you an example. If you don't have clear about MAC address, see, suppose that you have your house and you have a house number. That house number is permanent. Do you able to change your house number? No, because house number was given once. You only change your house number when you buy another house. At that time, you are able to change your house number. Similarly, when you purchase a phone or network device, you will get a MAC address of that particular phone or particular device. At that time, the phone has a MAC address, and the MAC address was not able to change. The MAC address was only changed when you change your devices. So MAC address is basically a complete, or you can say a permanent address of your phone or a physical address. MAC address is a basically phone address. Just remember, MAC address is just simply phone address. So if IP is permanent, why do the IP changes? See, IP is not permanent. IP address is not permanent. MAC address is permanent. IP can change continuously, but MAC is not changing. See, NIC is simply network interface card, which is used for accessing internet. NIC is like a hardware device which is used for accessing internet. That is nothing. So we have IP and MAC, and why we need IMI? Why we need IMI for what? See, sometime we need IMI number for phones for tracing, because IMI number has multiple functionality. See, we need different addresses for a phone. There IMI number. There are sometime at the previous. If you have SIM code, you see the PUK codes, and there are different things. So there are different things. But in network, the most important thing is the IP and the MAC. Yeah, we can guide you. So I think everyone has clear about IP and MAC. Now we are going to our next thing, which is, just give me a second. After that, I think everyone is clear about IP address and MAC address. Now we are going to know type of IP address. So how many type of IP address is there? So see, type of IP address, type of IP, or you can say range of IP, type of IP. See, there are two types of IP address. First is static, and then second is, you say, so we have two types of IP address. First is static. Just give me a second. Am I audible to all of you? Am I audible? I think my network is not working. Am I audible to you? My voice is down. Just give me a second. I think there's a problem. Am I audible? Am I audible right now? Just a minute. Right now, am I audible to you? Okay. So there are two type of IP addresses. First is your, just give me open my notepad again. I think I will just. So there are basically two types of IP addresses. First is your private IP and second is your public IP. Private IP and public IP. Also, there are second thing is static and dynamic. Static and dynamic IP addresses. These are basically not type. You don't find static and dynamic. Somewhere it was written that static and dynamic IP are also types. Sometime it was not written. Basically, if you search, you can only find private and public IP, but static and dynamic are also types of IP. Now I'm going to tell you all these four types. So first of all, what is private IP and what is public IP? So see, I think everyone has Wi-Fi in your home, and if you don't have Wi-Fi, sometime you also turn on your hotspot. Am I right? See, right now I am connecting to a Wi-Fi. So if I open my CMD, you can see what I will get. If I open my CMD, if I open here, and if I search here ifconfig, ipconfig, see what I will get. I will get an IPv4 address, which is a local address. This is 192.168.49.71. Also, there how many devices are connected to right now my Wi-Fi is like 10 to 11. So every device has IP address, and see right now the first three octet of every single IP address is same, and here it will only changing. Some has 71, some has 72, some has 73, some has 74, and some has 75. Every single have like this IP address. This is known as your local address or private address. So private address are those IP addresses which are created by hotspots or Wi-Fi. When we turn on hotspots, there are a limitation of that. At that time, 255 devices was connected to that particular hotspot or particular devices. So because there are a possibility of 255 networks was created in this particular network. So if you have a local address at that time, how you recognize if you are in a local address, the first three octet of every connected device is same, and after that you can see the last octet is different. The last numbers are different. Sometime it was 71, some is 72, some is 73, somewhere 74, and some is 75. So this is what. So basically, private address are those addresses which was created by local hotspots or Wi-Fi's. So, and it was not publicly available. Also, private IP addresses are not publicly available. See how private IP address works. Let me just give you a quick view. I think after that image you are able to understand this. See, first, if I suppose that if you have a phone, I think everyone has phone. Am I right? Just give me a second. Everyone has phone. I want you all to open your phone. Hello, am I audible to all of you? See, I want all of you to open your phone and search, go to your phone about phone section and search your IP address. Everyone, search your IP address. So see your IP address and then see your IP address of your laptop. I want to see everyone. I want to everyone to do this. If you connected your laptop from your IP from your phone, then you go to your phone and search for your IP address. In phone, you just simply go to your settings, just simply go to settings. In settings, in where you go to about phone, and in about phone you will find the network specification where you can get. So simply phone, go to settings, or you can simply search IP in your phone. Do you got your in IP address in your phone? How many of you got your IP address in your phone? Or you can simply type on Google what is my IP in your phone, and you can get your IP address of your phone. Now see the IP address of your laptop, which if you connected through hotspot, see the IP address of your laptop. Just see, simply search on Google what is my IP address, and you will get your IP address to your phone. Try this on your phone, not on your laptop. Try this on your phone. Phone. I think Tejas Mahajan, you are connected to a Wi-Fi. Am I right? If you are connected to a Wi-Fi, then at that time you will get this type of response. Phone and laptop. If you are connected to a Wi-Fi, at that time you will get a response. If you don't connect it to a Wi-Fi, you will get a response like this. I think my screen is visible. I think my webcam is visible to all of you. Is it visible? Do you see here? Just give me a second. I will show you my IP. You can see here my IP on the phone. It is like 1112. I think you are able to see the phone screen. Do you see the IP address of my phone? just write it on my. See, just I will simply write it. The IP address of my phone is here. Simply my phone IP address is simply 112.79.193.84, and this is my public IP. This is my IP of phone, or you can say this is my public IP. And the Wi-Fi address of my device is simply here. Just open my CMD, and the IP address of my laptop is is here. You can see 192.168.249.71. So you can see the IP address of my phone is different because it was different. My phone has different IP address and my laptop has different. It is like 192.1, just 192.168.43.196, like this. You know, dot 96, like this. You can see both have different IP, but right now my laptop was connected through my phone. My phone is providing the internet access to my laptop. So why it is different? Why it is not same? See, it is because my phone has public IP address where my laptop is right now in a local network. So right now my phone is the Wi-Fi for my laptop, and this is the public IP address, and this is the private IP address. See how things are happening. When I have this, if I right now connected on here, so if I search on my laptop, whatever, if I search google.com and whatever.com, if I search simply here, whatever I will search here, kali.org and whatever, it will go not directly go to the internet. It will not directly go on internet. First, it will go to my phone. First, where it will go? The request will go on my phone IP. Then it will go to the ISP. After ISP, it will go on internet, and after internet, it will fetch the data. Then it will come in again to the ISP. After ISP, it will come again to my phone, and after my phone, the data will be transferred into my laptop. So this is how the data will here transferring. So when you are in a local network, the every IP in a local network is known as IP address, and local networks are those networks which was created by your phone or Wi-Fi. So I think everyone is clear about private IP addresses. Private IP addresses nothing more just local IP addresses which was created by hotspots or Wi-Fi. So private IP addresses are those IP addresses which was created by local hotspots or Wi-Fi devices. And second is public IP addresses. See, what is public IP address? Public IP addresses are those IP addresses which was publicly available, like my phone IP addresses, like our Wi-Fi IP address. Remember, the IP address of Wi-Fi is public, but the devices which was connected to the Wi-Fi and they got the IP address is not public. Remember, the IP address of a Wi-Fi is public, but the devices which was connected to that particular Wi-Fi is not a public IP. The devices which was connected to a hotspot or Wi-Fi is getting private IP address, where the Wi-Fi is a public IP addresses. So public IP addresses are those ISP addresses which was directly getted by ISP. Simply, in simple terms, if I tell you the difference between private and public IP address, so public IP addresses are those IP addresses which was provided by ISP, where private IP addresses are those IP addresses which was created by ourselves, like created by a Wi-Fi or a hotspot. Remember, you don't need to pay for a private IP addresses. You pay for a Wi-Fi and you connect multiple devices. You get a SIM and you pay for recharges, and then you can access internet. And if I connect my laptop right now, I can use internet, but I don't need to pay money because right now I'm using my own network. So this is simple. Private IP addresses are those IP addresses which are not provided by ISP, where public IP addresses are those IP addresses which was provided by the ISP and we pay for it. So for public IP address, we pay to the ISP, but for the private IP addresses, we are not going to pay to the ISP. I think everyone is clear about public and private IP addresses. So see, the difference is very similar in IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 is like you can say 2 key power. It has 32 bits of characters in IPv4, where in IPv6 you can 62 bits or 68 bits. I think 32. Yeah, 64 bits. So this is basically a conversion. In IPv4, you can get a 4 octets, where I can IPv6 you can get 6 octets value. It is similar. So just give me a second. I will say 192. Our phone is section status 192. What is my IP? 192.sir, why it is showing two different addresses? See, your phone has a different address and your laptop has a different address, because if you are connected to a Wi-Fi, you can see your phone and your Wi-Fi has same addresses. On the first 3 octets, if you are connected to a Wi-Fi, see your phone and laptop. If you both was connected to a single Wi-Fi, you see the address of your phone and Wi-Fi is same. If you are connected to a Wi-Fi, at that time what happened? If I connected to a Wi-Fi, if my phone and laptop both are connected to Wi-Fi, I will get IP address like this: 192.168.143.96.98. See, if you are connected to a Wi-Fi, suppose this is the IP address of your laptop, and this is the IP address of your phone. And if you are connected, see here, if you are connected to Wi-Fi, this is what you will get as a IP address. See, the first 3 octets in the laptop and phone are same, and the last octet are different, because if you are connected to a Wi-Fi, because here it created a local network. But if you are connected to your phone, you can see your IP address of your phone is this, and you can see the IP address of your laptop is different. See, and if you want to check your IP address of your Wi-Fi, you can just simply use the command net discover in Linux, and you can see the IP address of your laptop. You can simply use the command net discover, and you can see the IP address of your particular Wi-Fi. So this is how you can find the IP address of your Wi-Fi. So remember, if you are connected in a network, in a local network, or you are connected to multiple network which was created by a Wi-Fi or hotspot, every single device which was connected with particular hotspot, the first 3 octets are always same for every devices. Only the last octets are different. I think everyone has cleared. I think everyone has been cleared. Shall we go more forward? So when we connect to a Wi-Fi, we get two options. One is randomized MAC address, and one is phone. Why do? See, sometimes it is appear for privacy. Some people don't want to share their MAC, so they can simply use randomized MAC address, where it can hide your MAC address. It just simply give a false MAC address in the settings, so you can hide your security. It's just for security and nothing for. Domain is basically a name. See, domain is basically a name. Domain is nothing more. Domain is basically a name. Am I not audible? I think am I audible? Clear. Plus, I think am I audible right now? Okay. Just give me a second. I think this is going. Just give me a second. Just see some extra questions if there was not. Am I not audible? What is domain? See, domain is like, just give me a second. See, if you are here, if I search kali.org, see here, this is domain. This is domain name. The kali.org is a domain name. The app.zoom.us is the domain name. So domain name is basically the name of a particular website. See, every domain name was interconnected to IP addresses. See, every website has a IP addresses in the world. Google has IP addresses. You can say Facebook has IP address. Internet is IP address. We can search these things by IP address. So if we search these things by IP addresses, why we need a domain name? See, if I search here 80.80, 80.80.80.80, and if I press enter here, see what is happening. Just open it. See, I'll get an website like this. This is a particular website name which I will open here, phenom. If I open another, for example, if I want to check what is the IP address of, for example, Google. So what is IP of Google? I'll just simply search what is IP of Google. I'll tell you Google. If I search what is the IP of Google, see, we will get view the what is IP address of google.com. What is IP address of google.com? If I search what is the IP address of google or .com, I'll simply get 8.8.8. So IP address of google.com is simply 8.8.8.8. And if I press here enter, see what is happening. I'll just simply open on Google. It will simply open the Google website, Google public DNS. So how this is actually happening? I can search 888, but in domain here URL we can see this name. Why this is happening? See, every website has an IP address. Even kali.org has an IP addresses. So it is very hard for us to remember every IP address in the world. If we are going to remember, there are multiple websites. For example, if you want to open ExcelR, you don't able to understand the IP address. You're not able to recognize every IP address. So that's why domain name was created. Every domain name was linked to an IP address. So we don't need to remember the IP address. We just simply need to remember the domain name, and then with the domain name we can simply open that particular website or server. So every website, first we purchase a domain name, and that particular domain name was interconnected, or you can say merged with the a particular IP address. And when we simply tap that domain name, it will simply go and find that particular website and give us to us. And remember, every domain name is unique. Not every single domain name is different. Every single domain name is unique for every IP addresses. So whenever you are tapping something, you will get a view. So domain name is basically a name which was attached to IP address to find a particular website, and it is used for our, you can say, most efficient way to access web pages. By using IP address, we can find any device or phone from anywhere. Yeah, you can find it from devices, but it is very tough. We can use different type of scan methodology to find this thing. We are performing different type of scan methodology to searches different devices, or getting the locations of particular devices. We use different type of things to get these locations. 192.168, it is always same because you are right now in a local address. So right now, I think this is done. I think everyone's clear about what is IP and what is. See, the second thing, we have two more things: static and dynamic IP address. So what is a static and dynamic IP addresses? See, it is simple as the name static and dynamic. Basically, static means fixed and dynamic means achieve a thing or a particular thing which was changing. So static IP addresses are those IP addresses which was fixed. Suppose if you buy a Wi-Fi. See, whenever your power cut was done, your Wi-Fi is on. If you see what is the Wi-Fi of, you can see, you want to see the what is the your IP address of Wi-Fi. So if you want to find the IP address of Wi-Fi, you can just simply use a command like, just open my PowerShell. PowerShell. Just click on PowerShell. PowerShell. You can open your window PowerShell, or you can use this C on your Linux. Use the command net discover. If you run this command, you will get the IP address of your particular Wi-Fi or router. Net discover. I think if this is not working here, I think this command will into PowerShell. You can run this command on your Linux operating system. I think it will run on Linux. It will not run in PowerShell. Just give me a second. I will run it on my Linux operating system. Here we can see how it was going. So just open my virtual box, and this is how you can find your Wi-Fi IP address. Just give me a sign. It will just opening. So what I'm telling simply, when we get the IP address, for example, if I get a Wi-Fi connection, at that time my Wi-Fi get an IP address. If I get a plan of, for example, 6 months, for the 6 month, if I get an IP address by the provider for a Wi-Fi is same. For the next 6 months, if I purchase a Wi-Fi, if I get a Wi-Fi, if I get a Wi-Fi, for example, if I get a Wi-Fi, at that time what happened? I will purchase, suppose if I get a Wi-Fi and I purchase a plan of 6 months, I will purchase a plan of 6 months. At that time, I will get a IP address with the Wi-Fi, and that particular IP address is fixed for me for the 6 month. For the 6 month, that IP address was not assigned by anyone at any time. For the 6 month until I will purchase the plan, my plan was not expired. The IP address is mine, so I will use that particular IP address. So static IP addresses are basically those IP addresses which was not changes. Whereas dynamic IP addresses are those IP addresses which can change. For example, you see your phone has this dynamic IP address. When we disconnect our data, for example, sometime you see when we disconnect our data, before disconnecting, go and see the IP address of your phone and disconnect it. And after 15 to 20 minutes, when you again connect to the internet, see the IP address was changed. Here we use this dynamic IP addresses. So dynamic IP addresses are those IP addresses which can change after some times. Dynamic IP addresses are basically provided by the ISPs which can give you the SIMs. Dynamic addresses are basically used in phones, like we get ISPs like phone numbers. If you have phone numbers, you can use different phone numbers like in different SIMs. Your SIM, when you access internet, you can get dynamic IP addresses, and when you access internet through Wi-Fi, at that time you have static IP addresses. Your Wi-Fi has static IP addresses, and if you are using our phone, you have a dynamic IP addresses. So basically, dynamic IP addresses change after few minutes or after a particular time, where static IP addresses are fixed for a particular period of time. So I think everyone is clear about dynamic and static IP address. Am I clear? Do you have clear about static and dynamic address? No. Amazon has same IP addresses. Who say Amazon.com does not have a single IP address? Yeah, you need root to be run. So just give me a command. I think everyone Linux. Just give me a second. I'll show you how you run net discover. Simply, I will just log in. I think the screen is visible to all of you. Is my screen visible to all of you guys? Is my screen visible to all of you? Okay. So right now you can see here uh, in Linux, if I want to see the IP address, I'll just simply open here, open terminal. I think my terminal is visible to everyone. I'll just simply use the command net discover, and if I enter, see it say that you must be root to run this. If ever we get this type of error, we just simply go at the starting and simply put sudo. Now if we enter here sudo net discover, it will ask password for Kali. It is the password Kali. It is Kali. Remember, if you are entering your password, it will not show on your screen. Does not fear, it will already entering. You just not able to say it. So if I just peer here enter, I'll get this type of prompt where you can see we can get IP at MAC address, count, LAN, MAC vendor, and host name. It will tell me how many devices right now connected to my particular Wi-Fi and what is the IP address of my Wi-Fi and what are the other devices which was connected. So it will give us all the information. Right now it was running. And how do you know which IP address is your format? See, whoever IP address has dot one. For example, if your IP address is like this 125.5, just why I didn't. If your IP address is like this 125.25.35635 dot. If your Wi-Fi, if an IP has an address like this, last one, remember this is your Wi-Fi address or this is the IP address of your particular router or Wi-Fi. The IP address of router or Wi-Fi is always one. At last, it is always one. So if a Wi-Fi has dot one in the last, it will be the gateway, or you can say it will be the IP address of your particular Wi-Fi. So this is how you know which is the IP address of your particular Wi-Fi. And this address will remain same for a particular of time, particular that period of time, whenever you are purchasing that particular product. Right now it is not, it was just see here, it was currently scanning 192.168 dot here, it was just currently scanning, and it does not found any network because I think my network IP address is here. Just see, check me a second, what is my IP address? I have config. Just give me a second, I'll just bigger the screen. If I type here I have config, And if I here enter, it say my IP address is 192.168.1 because it was not able to find, because my IP address is this, and it was searching from this to this position. It was searching from 192.168. That's why it was not able to find me right now. So it will start scanning until it will go there, and when it will come there, it will show me that this device was connected to me right now. So this will be taking a long time. Before that, I'm just right now shutdowning my Linux because we don't need right now. So this is how you are going to find. Sometime it will take long time to find that particular thing. I think I will give you the commands. I think you will not get the commands. I think I will share you the everything. Just give me a second. I will share you a particular web link where you can go and simply find see all the commands, basic commands you need to use. I'll just give you the screen. Just give me a second. I'll just give you a particular link, a set of commands where you can go and practice Kali Linux. Just give me. Hello. I think everyone can get the. Do you guys get the link which I shared you? This is the website where you can see the maximum. This is the link where you share, which I share you. You can use this link and you can get all the commands, basic commands which you need to understand for Linux. There are approx 50 or 100 of command set of commands. You can practice it all and you can make it use. It is very simply. You just need to learn it, or you can use it, or you can save this file. So in future, if you need any command, you can just simply open that particular link and you can use that particular command. So right now I'm sharing my screen. Again, we are going to things where we stopped. So right now we are going to know about what is IP, what is MAC, what is type of IP like public IP, private IP, static and dynamic IP. After that, we are now to going ranges of IP. What is range of IP? And how is an IP? Why it was written IP like this 192.168? What is this? So we are going to see what is the ranges of IP and what is range from and where from the ranges start. See, there are five classes of IP, which is start from class A to E, from class A, B, C, D, and E. So I'm just clearing my screen. So we are studying right now class of IP. Everyone has a doubt why the IP address isn't like 192.168.5. Like this. Why it was not simply written like a number? Why it was like this? So see, an IP address is like a combination of 32. It is like, and you can see a binary value. It was like a binary value. So and 32 bits, you can see 32 bits can make a IP address. Can make a IP addresses, which makes how many combinations? If 32 bit can make IP address, means a single IP address has 32 bits of combinations. Like it have 1, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every single has. Just give me a point. Just I think it was 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just like this, we can get four values, four octets. If I just put here point, control plus V. After this, just put a point, control plus V. After that, just simply put a point and control plus V. See, this is how an actual IP address look. If you just simply transform or convert an IP address into a binary value, you will get like this. Every IP has a 32 bits of combination. If it was written 1 or 0 and whatever, we can make it like this. So there are total how many numbers of total combination of IP address created with this combination. The total number of IP will created simply 2 to the power 32. 2 key power 30, you can say 2 to the power 32 combinations of IP addresses which was created, which is billions. So there are very high muches of IP addresses. You can see every here is 111. Sometime it will be 111, 1001, whatever. So this is how actually IP address look in binary form. Now we have some classes for every IP address. Like the classes will start from class A. First, the is class A IP address. See, every IP address has range. If you understand this range, you know very well. So every IP address has range. So class A start from basically from 0.0.0.0 to from where it will go from 10.255.255.255. Now, just give me a second. Everyone has a question why this is 111, why this is 111, why this is 111. Everyone has a question why this is 111. See, every IP address has a start from, like, just give me a second. If you combine this value, you can, if you combine this value, you can find, if you find the decimal value of this binary number, you will get 255. If you find the decimal value of this, you will get 255 because it is a 8 number. So if you find the decimal value of this, you will get an answer like 255. So this is why every IP addresses has range from 0 to 0 and 255 to 55. For example, an IP address 0, the number 0, it will only start from 0 to 255. It will only become between 0 to 255. It will not go beyond 256. It will not go to 56 because if you add 256, you are not able to add 256 from the 8 numbers. So for every IP addresses, for every single octet, it will only be on from 0 to 255. So if you write an IP address like this, 192.132.258.125.31, this is wrong because here we get 258 and we are not able to write 258 in binary form where it will only take 8 octates or 8 bits. It will take 9 bits to write 258. So when we are writing 258, it will not possible for us. We only need 256. So this is what actually happening. So we are not able to write like this. Every value is only from 0 to 225. So if 132 is right because it will be between 0 to 255. 258 is wrong. This IP address is wrong because here 258 is not between 0 to 255. 125 is wrong. Right. 31 is right. If IP address is like this, 125.48.65.85, it is right because here this is all follow this rule. It will also 0 between 0 to 125, 255, 48 is also between 0 to 255, 65 is also between 0 to 255, and 85 is also between 0 to 255. So this is all between. So now you understand how an IP address was written and what you will need to know. If you see any IP address, if it was wrong or right, you just need to how you find if it was wrong. If you find any value which is greater than 255 in that whole sequence, you understand that the particular IP address is wrong. Every IP address does not go from beyond from 0 to 255. It will be always vary between 0 to 255. I think everyone has clear about it. Does everyone has clear it about? Because it has start from only from 8 octates. See, it has only 8 octates. If you see in binary decimal values 0 to 255, it will only take 8 values to 8 bits to print 0 to 255. If you want to print 255, it will take only 8 bits, and every octet of an IP address is only from 8 bit. That's why it is only goes from 255. Now just we take a short break. After that, after just take a short 2-minute break. If you have any question, just ask it. Do you have any questions? Just ask it. Does anyone have any questions? So what you share Linux command, it's showing error establishing a database connection. Commanding not opening, just give me a second. I will again give you the command. You will simply type here hostinger Linux command cheat sheet. Hostinger Linux commands. On the first tutorial, you'll get this view, which is very good for you. You can use these commands to learn the basic commands which a beginner should learn for it. I'll just send you again. From this command, you are able to use the Linux. You are able to see all the commands which was using in Linux. It is basically known for all of you. So right now we are going jumping again on classes of IP addresses. Should we start? Sir, any roadmap for cybersecurity? So, if you want to become a professional in cybersecurity, you need to first know about operating systems, then you need to know about networking, then you need to know about Linux and different UI-based operating system. Then you need to know about cybersecurity. Then you need to clear some certifications. This is a full complete roadmap to become a expert cybersecurity expert. Does anyone have anyone have any questions, or should we start? See, now we are going to start IP ranges of class IP addresses. So see, if I show you the range of classes, just give me a second. Just open me the. See, if I now open one to class A, so class A is range basically from 00 to 10.2555. So if you found an IP address between the range 00 to 10.255, it is basically your. Sorry, I will written wrong. So class A IP basically start from 0 to 127.55. I think 127. Yeah, it is right. 127 or 127. Yeah, 127.255. So class A basically start from 0 to dot 127. If you find any IP address between this range, it will be belong from class A IP addresses. Class A IP address basically used by biggest business organizations like government organizations or bigger companies like Star, SpaceX, Tesla, and different companies. So class A IP addresses basically used for bigger company where maximally it was protected by multiple users and it was very secure. So class A IP address is basically used by also hosting companies like Hostinger, GoDaddy, and different companies which provided IP addresses for domain names. Also, class A IP addresses belongs to some bigger government organizations, some bigger companies like Tesla, Tata, Reliance, and different other companies. So class A IP is basically for those persons. Now we have class B IP. So class B. So class B IP start from basically 128 dot you can say 0.0.0 to it will go to your 191. It will go to 191.255 dot 255.255. So it will go from 191.255 to 255. So class B is basically varying from 128 to 198. So class B is basically used by small level organizations like ISP providers, like Wi-Fi providers, like small Wi-Fi providers, like home Wi-Fi and different other Wi-Fi providers, which is very working on a small levels. So class B IP address was basically used for mid-level organizations and companies. So class A is used for big level organizations, where class B is used by mid-level organization, and then we have class C IP address. So class C IP addresses is basically used by the Wi-Fi providers. See, class C is basically used by the Wi-Fi providers, and all the IP address on class C is basically a private network used for creating a private network. See, class C IP address was used for creating private addresses, private networks. If you are connected to Wi-Fi, you will always get an IP address of class C. If you're connected to a hotspot, you get the IP address of class C. So class C IP addresses is basically used for creating private IP addresses or private networks. So class C IP address is basically used for creating private IP addresses, and it was basically used by the Wi-Fi service providers or ISP providers, and it will range from 192 dot you say 0 dot 0 dot 0 to it will go from 2 to 3 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255. So the all the IP addresses which vary between class C are used for creating small networks like private networks. It will be a LAN network, it will be your college website, college network, where everywhere if you're using a Wi-Fi or a router for internet connection at that time we get class C IP address. Then we get class D IP addresses, which was basically used for some type of, you can say, broadcasting. Class D IP addresses was basically used for broadcasting, broadcasting like different type of broadcasting, maybe it's a news broadcasting or channel broadcasting, satellite communication, and different things. So class D IP addresses basically vary from 224.0.0.0 to 239.255.255.255. And after that we get class E IP addresses. Class E IP address was basically used for experimental purposes, for following or finding new scientific theories or finding some type of formulas and some type of modification in networks. So for that we use class E IP addresses for modification in network for some purposes. You can say basically it was used for experimental purposes, and it was used by the bigger sometime militaries and the governments was used by the class E IP address. Class E was basically used by the government or military for experimental purposes, and it will start from basically your after 240. You can say 240.0.0.0 to end with 255.255. See, broadcasting class again. I'm saying, just give me a second. Class A IP address is used by the biggest organizations like SpaceX, Tesla, Reliance, and biggest company like Meta, and it was very secure. Also, it was used by the government. Class B was used by the mid-level organizations. Class C IP address was used by creating private networks like LAN networks. Class D IP address was used for broadcasting messages. Sometimes you see when an earthquake comes or some flood comes or some type of disaster comes, you will we all will get some type of messages in our particular phone from a particular number or a particular SMS destination. At that time, these IP addresses were used to transfer these messages. Sometimes these IP address was used by government so they can send multiple messages to multiple people at a single time. So class D IP address was basically used for broadcasting, and class E IP addresses was basically used for transferring. You can say experimental purposes. It was used by the government and military for experimental purposes. I think everyone has cleared about IP addresses. Am I right? Just give me a second. I think everyone has cleared about IP addresses. Does I get a quick response? Yes, sir. But how this this history command are enough, and how many should we need to remember? See, you don't need to remember any command. You just need to understand the command. You just don't need to remember any command. You just need to understand every command. If you understand every single command, you are able to do it. Please show the notepad. Okay, I'll just show you the notepad. I think my notepad is visible to you. These are the range. Just note down it if you don't want to forget. Remember, there are total 2 to the power 32 combinations of IP address was created from all the classes from which we start from 0.0.0.0 to 255.255.255.255. There are this much type of combination. There are 2 to the power 32 combinations of IP addresses was created from this. And there are total 5 classes, class A, B, C, D, E. Again, I am telling you, class A was used for by the biggest organizations, class B was used by mid-level organizations, class C IP addresses was basically used by the for creating private networks like Wi-Fi networks, or you can say router networks. Class D IP addresses were basically used for broadcasting messages, and Class E IP address was basically used for, you can say, for experimental purpose, which was used by the government and military. I think everyone has cleared about it. Does everyone has cleared? Sir, can I have skill background of DSA, CCNA, and development in field of cyber security with basic of language like Python, C++, Java? Is there any value for a fresher with above skill set or anything else should be? See, if you in cyber security, remember, if you have CCNA, it is very important. If you have development knowledge, it will be very good. It will be very good. And if you have DSA, it is very good. So yeah, this knowledge will be very useful for you in the field of cyber security. Please mention it over. What should I mention it? Do you have any questions? Does I get any questions? If you don't have any questions, can I get a quick response, or should we move to next topic, or do you have any questions? So what, sir, how these addresses are defined? Uh, what is the advantage of using static? See, there was not any basic advantage of using static IP or dynamic IP addresses. Basically, static IP addresses are given us so we can't change it. But in reality, static IP addresses are more vulnerable then dynamic address. Suppose if a hacker somehow get your IP address, and if it was static, it will remain same for a long period of time. So if you disconnect your network at that particular time, the hacker was not able to hack. But when you again connect to internet, and if your IP is static, he is able to perform attacks on you again. So static is basically a vulnerable where dynamic is continuously changing. So if an attacker get my IP address and try to hack me, at that time, if I shut down my network, he will not able to attack me. And if I again connect to network, this time my IP address is changed, so the IP which the hackers get is useless for him. So basically, dynamic is more good than, you can say, static. So dynamic is more secure than static because it was changing multiple. So DHCP is safer. See, DHCP is a protocol, dynamic host configuration protocol. It is not an IP address. It is just simply giving you dynamic IP addresses. DHCP is just a method to give you dynamic IP addresses, or we can say is a DORA process. It was just basically used for giving you dynamic IP address. Why it would change frequently, sir? See, what happened when we you have using a dynamic address for right now. If your phone has connected to a internet, at that time what happened? See, when I shut down, for example, I shut down connection my phone to internet, I'll just give you the see how it will work, how it will change this. For example, if my phone is right now not connected to internet, suppose it was off, when I just simply on data connection, what will happen? First of all, it send a request to ISP, request to ISP that I want to connect the internet. ISP that it want to connect to internet. After ISP has a, you can see a IP pool. ISP has a IP pool where millions of IP was have ISP at that particular time. So what does ISP simply do? ISP simply just see any IP which is available at that particular time. So when I turn on data, it send a request to ISP that I want to connect to internet. Then ISP see the ISP pool, IP pool, where there are millions of IP address was available. It will just simply choose any IP, and then it will just simply transfer me to that particular IP. So if we choose, for example, it will choose, for example, IP like 1.1.1.1, then it will just simply give it to me. After, if I disconnect it, again, now this IP was not stored at me. This IP was again come into the IP pool. And after, for example, 1 hour or 2 hour, again, if I want to connect to internet, again I will on, it will request to ISP, then ISP again see the IP pool. At that time, if this IP address is not available, it will give you the another IP. So it is basically done by this. So this is what actually happening. This is how ISP give you a different IP at different times. I think everyone able to understand how ISP give you different IPs. See, these are not actually. This was develop. Actually, the network was discovered by the USA, US military, where there was a story that US military created internet because they want to transfer messages from one place to another place. So that's why the US military created the internet. That's why the military was still using the last IP address, class C IP addresses. Many government even military was using for many experimental purposes. You can say. What factors should I consider? What factors should I consider when choosing an ISP? See, choosing an ISP is not a factor. You is this is not like a factor you choose. There are different ISP according to you. ISP is not like security. ISP does not provide you security. ISP just simply give you IP addresses. It does not give you security. And ISPs just simply give you the IP address. For example, if you want to buy a door, you have don't need to know which type of door you want. You need to understand which type of lock is important for you. You don't need to search more type of door than searching more type of lock. You purchase any door, but the lock which you purchase is more important. This is the same. So if you don't need to consider which ISP you need, just buy any ISP, you choose any ISP, choose that ISP which provided fast internet in your particular area. What is CCNA, sir? CCNA is basically Cisco Certified Network Associate certification, where you can learn networking from scratch, where you can learn everything about networking, every network devices, routers, and different things on internet. So CCNA is basically this. I think my audio is audible to all of you. Am I audible to all of you, guys? Can I get a quick response? Okay. So right now we are going to our next topic, which is LAN, MAN, and WAN. After this, we are going to our next topic, which is LAN, MAN, and WAN. So our next topic is LAN, MAN, and WAN. So first is, just give me type, LAN. So what is LAN? I think everyone has known about LAN. It is local area network. So what is LAN or local area network? See, LAN is basically a network which was created in a minimum number of computers. A LAN is basically a network which connects a minimum number of computers. LAN was basically a network for a small organization. For example, if you have an organization, like if you have a school and you want an internet access, then you go to some LAN provider in your area, which is simply, for example, right now in my area, Airtel is a LAN provider. Also, Airtel provide LANs. So I will go to Airtel and I will ask that I want a local area network in my office. So they will come and simply create a local area network in my office. So what is this local area network? They simply come to my office and what they do, they simply connect my all computers through a cable, through a LAN cable, or you can say through a twisted pair cable. There are different cables. I think you all guys know about cables, which is used for connecting the net. There are twisted pair cables, twisted pair cables. There are OFC cables. Do you guys know about these cables? Do you know about twisted pair cables or OFC cables? I think many of you know about it. Do you know about anyone who know about twisted pair cables or OFC cables? Does anyone know? Okay, very good. Those who know, very good. Those who don't know, don't worry. I'm telling you what is OFC and twisted pair cables. See, when you want to connect two laptops to each other and you want to share data, if you want to connect two laptops, for example, if you want to connect two, just give me a second. If you want to connect two laptops to each other, you need to connect through some type of cables. You directly don't connect to the normal cables. You need some type of cables. See, twisted pair cable and OFC cables are those cables which was used to transfer data between two computers. There are also many computers. Basically, these two are the most popular cables which was used for transferring data. Twisted cable cables are basically very commonly used and very cheap, where OFC cable is very secure and very expensive because in OFC it is optical fiber cables and it will transfer your data in the form of light. It transfer your data in the form of light. It is very fast compared to twisted pair cable and also it is very secure. Where twisted pair cable is not too much secure and it is cheap. So if your organization is a school, like if you have a small organization like a school, at that time we need twisted pair cables to connect multiple computers. But if my organization is small but my data is very important to me, at that time I will use OFC cable, which will cost me more. So LAN is basically a local area network. So if suppose that again come to our example, say if I have my school and I want to create a LAN for my school, then at that time I want all the computers was connected to each other. For example, I have 50 computers in my school, so I will connect all 50 computers together through the LAN cable. After my all 50 computers was connected to the LAN cable, what will happen? See, at that time, I am able to transfer data or receive data or send messages or receive messages to every single computer which was connected to the LAN. If at that time I have internet access or not, it doesn't matter. If I don't have internet access, I will also able to send messages to everyone else. So see, in LAN you actually don't need internet. If you created a local area network at that time, you really don't need internet to transfer data or transfer messages. Without internet, you simply transfer data between all the 50 computers, but you are not able to get anything from web. If you want to get anything from web, you need to connect a router to the LAN so you can access to the internet. I think everyone has clear about LAN. Everyone has clear about LAN, or should I tell you again? Yeah, LAN is basically no, LAN is wired medium. LAN was basically used for wired medium. Once again, okay, just tell me once again. See, basically, LAN is like local area network. Suppose I have a school and I have 50 computers in my college, and every single computer has some type of data, and sometime I want every data. For example, sometime I want the admission data, sometime I want the library data. So I don't have time to go every single laptop and open that laptop and see every data. Maybe there are some laptops in the lab. I want to see what type of data was stored in that. I want to see the application data which was stored in the application room. I want to see the reception laptop, what data type is stored in there. So I'm not going every single way and see the laptops or computers to see the data. It was very time taken process for me. So this is why LAN was created. So LAN was basically what we connect all the 50 computers together using a optical fiber cable or a twisted pair cable. After, when we connect all the 50K computers, what will actually happen? See, when we connect all the computers, then at that time I am able to access all the data in the 50 computer from my own computer. I don't need to go to any other computer to see the data. I'll just simply use my computer to see the data from the different computer, and also I'm able to transfer the data from that particular computer to my computer. So this is what actually happening in LAN. Also, if we have LAN, we don't need internet connection to communicate to each other. We just simply connect internet, or we just simply transfer messages between these 50 computers without internet. But if you want to access something out from these 50 computers, you need to access internet, and at that time we need to connect the LAN through a router. If we connect a LAN through the router, at that time we are able to access the internet. If we don't have the router, we can simply transfer the message between computers. If you don't have router, we can just simply transfer the message between computer, transfer the files between computer, send or receive messages. We do all these things. But if we want to do something out of that particular thing, at that time we need routers. So if we connect routers, then we are able to use it. So I think everyone is clear about LAN. Does anyone have any doubts? Does anyone have any doubt about LAN? Okay. Explain in example of LAN. See, example of LAN is basically your college Wi-Fi or some other places Wi-Fi. See, in your college there is a Wi-Fi and all the computers was connected to your Wi-Fi. See, if you go in your college, you see many computers was connected through LAN wires. You see it in your college. Sometime when you see the Wi-Fi, the internet you can access in your computer was through LAN cables. So in colleges, you can see all the computers was connected to LAN cables, and all the LAN cable was connected to a Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi was connected to a router. Yeah, you can say home network is also a LAN. If you connect all the, yeah, you can say home network is a wireless LAN. You can say home network is a LAN, local area network. See, router is basically a device which is used for connecting two LANs to each other. Router is basically a smart device which is used for connecting two devices or two LANs to each other. Hub and switches are network devices which was used for connecting multiple computers and network devices to each other. We can go on that. Actually, we are also know about routers and hub at next point. NAS also we are going to know about NAS in the other coming classes. So don't need to be worried. We are also going to need know NAS, hub, switch, and everything. So we can use LAN network for phone or only computer without. Sir, can we use LAN network for phone or only computer without? See, LAN. If you create a LAN, the all the devices which was connected to particular LAN, you are able to transfer data between these devices. If I created a LAN of 10 computers, suppose if I created a LAN of 10 computers, at that time I'm able to transfer the data or communicate between these 10 computers if I don't have internet. But if I want to do something extra out of the 10 computer, at that time I need the LAN. At that time I need the router to access internet. If I don't have the router, I will not able to access out of the 10 computer. I will only limited to that 10 computer. Means I will be only able to access the only 10 computers and I will only be able to transfer messages between these 10 computers. I think everyone is clear about LAN. Does anyone have any doubts? Means if I connected my phone to a LAN cable somehow, then I can access the data of connect. Yeah, you can access the data of connected PCs. Yeah, if you connected your phone somehow, just imagine somehow. If you connected two PC with LAN, you can able to access the data of second PC from your first PC. LAN is basically a local area network, just by name, a local area network. Second thing is LAN. After LAN, we have get the second thing. If we connect the LAN with router, you can access the internet as well. This is how happening. After that, we get the second thing is MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. See, LAN is on basically small levels. LAN is for basically small organizations. LAN is basically for small organizations or businesses where man is basically used for biggest organizations or you can say for connecting more than a city. Suppose I have a city. Suppose my city have I am living in city Lucknow. Suppose right now I'm living in Lucknow, and in Lucknow suppose there are 5,000 of land, 5,000 of land, and there is a city just 50 kilometers away from Lucknow, Kanpur, and in Kanpur suppose there was 10,000 computers or 10,000 LANs were available. See, in Lucknow, 5,000 LANs were available. In Kanpur, 10,000 LANs were available. Now, I want to connect these 5,000 LANs to these 1,000 things. So, how we can connect? If I connect every one to every them, it is a very big and very congested problem. At that time, we created MAN. What we created? MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. So MAN is basically connecting two cities to each other. Means MAN connect all the land of the one city to another city. So MAN is basically a network which was work on very wide level, or you can say on a city level, metropolitan area network, which can connect multiple LANs to each other, which can connect one city's LAN to another city's LAN, or each can connect one city to another city. So MAN is basically used for connecting two cities to each other. So MAN is a network which is metropolitan area network and which is bigger than LAN. So MAN is basically used for connecting two large areas of land to each other. Am I right? Do you have clear about MAN? Does anyone have any doubts about MAN? See, MAN is basically used for connecting two cities land to each other. MAN is basically used for connecting two cities land to each other. See, after man, we can get van. The third is man. After land, man, and the third is van. What is van? The third thing is van, or you can say wide area network. In LAN, we connected a small organization. We created a small organization. We created 50 computers. We connected 50 computers and transfer data. In MAN, we see how we connect two city and transferring data. But in WAN, we are not connecting a small organization or two cities. Here we are connecting two countries or two continents. See, you can see you were able to access websites which were stored in USA. You were able to access websites which were stored in Russia. You were able to access websites which was stored in, you can say, Pakistan and different other countries. So this is what happening. So WAN is basically a network which connects two cities. For example, in Russia, suppose that there is a gaming platform and everyone using. So at that time, we are able to access Russian network or Russian data through WAN, because WAN connects two continents to each other, providing the internet access between those two continents. Suppose if Asia and Antarctica connect through NRAN, Antarctica connected through a WAN, at that time the people of Asia will able to access the data of Antarctica, and the people of Antarctica will able to access the data of Asia. So WAN is basically a wide area network which can work on countries level or continent level. So these are the levels of a network. First, we get LAN, a local area network where it will only connect a small level organization. Then we get MAN, which is a metropolitan area network, which is used for connecting, you can say, two cities. And after, we can get WAN, which is used for connecting more than two countries or two continents to each other. And this is what LAN, MAN, and WAN. I think everyone is clear about LAN, MAN, WAN. Does anyone have any doubt? If anyone has any doubt, can you please ask it? See, it is WAN, not WWN. Wide area network. Someone people say what wide area network? You can say a wide area network. See, the date limit of data transfer in LAN will be, you can say, maximum in LAN we say 200 to 500 meters, where in MAN it will be, you can say, 100 kilometers to 200 kilometers, and in WAN we can say it will vary from, if we are connecting two continents, it will be maybe 1,000 to 10,000 kilometers. It will be very high. Uh, who can make more electricity? Who can more electricity, sir? Who can consume more electricity? Basically WAN, because WAN was connecting two continents, so it was consuming more electricity. Yeah, multiple LAN is a MAN network. What I'm telling, in the starting I will tell you, if Lucknow has 5,000 LANs and Kanpur has 1,000 LANs, if I connected these both, I'll create a MAN. So MAN is basically connecting multiple LANs to each other. See, certification is not mandatory if you have skills. See, the most thing and the most important thing in the cybersecurity job is the skills. If you have skills, you are able to do anything. So please recommend some cybersecurity internship. See, the best cybersecurity internship which was available by Fortinet, which is the world's leading cybersecurity company. You can apply it for. I think in November the cybersecurity internship was coming. Does anyone have any doubt, or we can go move further? Sir, can I get a question? I will try to share you. Does anyone have any doubt, or we going to move forward? Can I get a quick response in the chat box? Should we go to the next topic? CompTIA certificate is basically a certificate which was a security certificate in which you learn about security fundamentals and Windows fundamentals. Okay, now we are going to our next topic, which is basically just what is VPN and what is proxy. See, I think everyone has used VPN. Now it's time to understand what is VPN and is VPN is really secure or safe. Just give me a 5 minute time. Just give me a 2 minute time. I'll just be back. Just give me 2 minutes. Am I audible to all of you? See, what I will get. Say by skill means if I hack an MNC server, then are there any chances of them to hire me as a security? See, hacking an MNC server is not like a child game. It is not like a child game that you can go and hack an MNC server. MNC server is not like simple things. MNC servers are most secure things in this world. There are multiple levels of cybersecurity engineers, hackers was protecting that particular servers every single time. There are multiple level of encryption, there are multiple level of decryption, multi-level of authentication was available. So it is like impossible to hack MNC server, but it's not possible. It is impossible, but there is a 0.001% chance that someone can also able to hack it. So it is not completely impossible. If you have the skills, you can it. And yes, if you hack it, at that time they will also give you the job. They will not send you the jail. So right now, I think, just give me a second. Is my screen visible to all of you? So the next thing is VPN. What is actually a VPN? What is actually a VPN? Just give me a second. Start. Okay, right now this time. So what is actually a VPN and why is VPN really safe to use or not? So see, VPN is just a virtual private network. Virtual private network. Private network. And what does actually a VPN do? See, whenever you are connected to internet, for example, this is your phone. Suppose this is my phone. Just give me a second. I need to just suppose this is my phone, and right now if I connect to internet, this is like this is happening like this. If I connect to internet, it will be like my phone. Then I will go to the ISP. This is how things actually are happening. I'll go to the ISP. After ISP, I'll go to like this on the internet. And also, this is how actually things happen. When we use normal connection, it will from phone, then ISP, then phone, then ISP, then internet. This is how actually things is happening. Just give me some, just, just give me time. I think. So see, first when you are connected to internet, first your request will go from phone, then it will go to the ISP, then it will go to the internet. This is how simply an internet connection or internet works. This is how simply you can get your data from any particular website. But when you connect an VPN, what happens? See, also, whatever you search on your phone, remember I will telling you something. Whatever you are searching on your phone, ISP is able to see you. Even if you open your incognito mode. In incognito mode, your data was just not, your history was just not cached. In incognito mode, your history was not cached. Just this is only happening. ISP is still able to see what you are searching. So when you are connected to a VPN, what actually happens? See, first of all, phone, then you are connected to a VPN. VPN. Then what happened when you connect to VPN? Whatever you are searching in your phone, for example, if you open google.com and in google.com, whatever you're searching, for example, how to become a hacker, how to become a hacker, how to become a hacker. At that time, what happened? The VPN simply encrypts that message. It simply converts this how to become a hacker in an encrypted message. And at that time, the ISP was not able to see what you are using or what is the message. What is the messages? But remember, there's also a condition. This is how this will going. First, it from phone, it will go to ISP, then it will connect to the VPN. So see, then your message was encrypted. So ISP is not able to see how to become a hacker, but ISP know that you are connected to a particular VPN. And every VPN in a country has also signed an agreement to the government that when the ISP need, it will give us you the all data. So you will also not secure. For example, whatever VPN you are using, they will also store your all data. So VPN is also completely not secure, but it gives you a 50% of security. So VPN also gives you not security. If ISP wants to get the information from VPN, it simply requests to the VPN and VPN gives the information to the ISP. Now see what happened actually. So after phone, it will go to the ISP, then it will go to the VPN server, and we are searching how to become a hacker. And how to become a hacker, suppose, was banned in India. So when you search how to become a hacker without using the VPN server, it will just simply block your request and you are not able to access. But when you have the VPN server, what actually happens? First, it will go from phone, then ISP, then VPN server. Then it will go to search how to become a hacker. Then it will go again, find the result, find the result, find the result, then it will let back you to the VPN server. And again on the VPN server, the data was again fully encrypted, and ISP was not able to see what type of data it is. Also, ISP is not able to know where you will go. It will know that you will go to the VPN server, but it does not know that you will go from VPN server to another website. The ISP know that you will only go to the VPN server, and after VPN server, it will come to ISP, and ISP is not able to see the data because it was encrypted, and from ISP it will come to your phone. And this is how VPNs actually work. VPN is just a simple virtual private network which just convert your IP addresses. So you can access the blocked websites or blocked applications by using the VPN, by just changing the IP address from another country or another region. I think everyone is clear about VPNs. A VPN which is converted. Yes. So we see that VPN is connected to it foreign country server. Still, it is, yeah, it is also traffic trackable because it will only connect to one single network. See what happened in VPN. Just give me. I'll just show you a picture of VPN. Then I think you will. I think my screen is viewable. Just show you an image. Just give me time. VPN connection image connection image. Just give me example. I'll just show you an image. I'll just show you image. After this image, I think you will be able to understand. See, just give me time. It will taking a time long as usual. Simple definition: VPN is simply a virtual private network which was used for accessing or connecting the, you can see, blocked websites or blocked application on the internet. It simply encrypts our data. It will give us a extra layer of protection on the internet. It will simply encrypts our data, so no one can able to see our data, what is inside in the packet of our data. Yeah, it will change your IP address, also encrypt your data. See, this is how actually a VPNs work. See, this is your laptop. I think you are able to see this is your laptop, and this is the VPN server, and this is the internet. So when you are connected to VPN, VPN just simply what it will do, it will simply start encrypting your data. So whatever you are dating sender, for example, if you are searching here, for example, a website which was banned in India, for example, I was searching for a website like a game website which was banned in India. I searched the game name for Subway Surfer. So when it comes to VPN, VPN simply what it does, it will simply encrypt the data, and then it will go to the internet and search for that particular website. Then it will again come it, and then it will send it to me. And here in between, the ISP was here. So at that time, ISP was not able to recognize that it will get the Subway Surfer packet because it was encrypted. So this is how VPN gives you the block website data or blocked applications data. I think everyone is able to understand how VPN actually gives you the data. Is Tor browser traceable? No, Tor browser is not traceable because Tor browser is basically using more than 100 or 200 of IP address. In VPN, you got just connected. You get only one IP address. In VPN, you just connected to one IP address. But in Tor, you are connected to more than 100 of IP address. Your IP address was changed every single minute. So in Tor, you are not able to connect. So how we can create our own VPN? In Python, for creating our own VPN, we use Python programming languages to create our own VPN. So is it possible to steal data or to know actual IP and data before connected to? No, this is not even possible because it is a very fast speed. It is impossible. See, it is basically impossible to trace someone on the dark web because in dark web the your IP was changing on every second. So this is very hard to find someone. So it is simply, you can say, it is impossible to trace someone on dark web. It is basically impossible. If you want to trace someone on dark web, it is basically impossible. You are not able to find someone on Tor. I think everyone has clear about VPNs. Does anyone have any question? Actually, I don't have any knowledge about VPN, so I'm not able to give you any suggest you any best free VPN. But the best VPN which was used by the Tor VPN, which is a VPN which was a very provide a high-end encryptions which we use it. So I think now everyone has clear about what is VPN. Just remind of today's what we learn here. I'll just start it from again. So I think everyone know. We know what is networks. First, we know what is network. So basically, I'll just start reminding you again what we study in this class. We know network. What is network? So network is basically a communication or intercommunicated devices which can share data between each other. It will be minimum two devices to create a network, and there are billion and millions of devices which was connected to internet, and we share data every single one. After network, we know about what is IP and MAC addresses. Basically, IP and MAC address. IP address is the logical address of your phone, or you can say temporary address of your phone, which can allow you to access internet, where MAC address is the physical or permanent address of your phone. After that, we know what how types of IP, which is types of IP, which we get public IP, public, private, static, and dynamic. We get these types of four types of IP: public, private, static, dynamic. We know these types of four types of IP addresses: public, private, static, and dynamic. We know about what is public. Public IP addresses are basically those IP addresses which was given by us to the ISP and we pay for it. Private IP addresses are those IP addresses which was used for creating local networks. Static IP addresses are those IP addresses which not change timely. where dynamic IP addresses are those IP addresses which can change every single time whenever we disconnect to our network, it will just simply change. We also know that dynamic is more secure than static IP addresses. After that, we know the ranges of IP, which is class from ranges and classes of IP, ranges and class of IP, and class of IP, which is from start from A, B, C, D, and E. You also remember class A IP address is basically used by the biggest organization, biggest government organizations, biggest companies, or like StarX, SpaceX, Tesla, and government organizations like Indian government, US government, different government. B IP address was basically used by the mid-level organizations. Class C IP addresses was basically used by the low-level organizations, or you can say by for creating public-private networks. Sorry, Class C IP addresses was basically used for creating private networks, where Class D IP address was basically used for broadcasting messages or information, and Class E IP addresses was basically used for experimental purposes. After Class A, B, C, D, E IP addresses, just give me a second. Sorry, just give see, class E IP address was basically used for transferring or for experimental. Sorry, class C IP address was basically used for experimental purposes, which was used by the government, military, and research facilities, so they can find different solutions. After that, we know about VPNs. How does a VPN work actually? Is it really a VPN can secure us or not? VPN is just simply a virtual private network which we give us the more security, or you can say functionality. It will simply encrypts our data and then send to the ISP, so our data was not seen by anyone at that time. After we learn about LAN, MAN, and WAN, how these three are connected to each other. First, there was LAN, then there was MAN. Remember, the simplest definition of LAN, MAN, WAN is multiple LANs makes MAN, multiple make MANs make WAN. So this is how the LAN simply connects a small organization, where it connects all the computers in a small organization, where MAN simply connects two or more, you can say multiple mans, where mans simply connect multiple mans from multiple cities. It is simply known as metropolitan area network, and it is more bigger than LAN. Then we have WAN, wide area network, which is basically used for connecting two countries or two continents to each other. So we know about these LAN, MAN, and WAN. I think everyone has been clear about these topics today. Does anyone have any doubt about these four topics? They can please feel free to ask it. Just give me a second. I'll just share you the screen. If you have any doubt about these questions, just feel free to ask me. Just give me a second. How does the beef tool work? See, every tool has their own setups. If you want to know how a tool will work, you simply go and type tool name. For example, in Linux, if you want to know how a tool works, just simply type I think this is not. You just simply type like this, tool name, whatever tool you want to know how it was working. You simply type tool name, then hyphen help. You can type hyphen help, comma, otherwise you can type simply help, or you can simply type hyphen h. These three things you can type, and you know all the information about that tool, how it will work, how it will scan, or how it will do anything. Does anyone have any other doubt? Does anyone have any other doubt? So then how the government secret agency trace it on dark web? Are see, you don't actually know it. We actually only see in the movies that the government secret agencies like RAW, FBI is able to trace it from dark web. No, they are not have that much of experts who is able to access or trace someone on dark web. They simply access all the networks, all the informations, all the regulations. For example, you hear a news few days ago that FBI has access to WhatsApp messages. It does not mean that FBI hacked WhatsApp. It means that FBI has access to WhatsApp server. So if you have access to server, a non-tech person is also able to see anything. So government have access to these companies. So that at that how they will be able to see someone. They don't have the best hackers who is able to trace someone. So it is basically impossible for anyone to trace someone on dark web. It is there any programming language required for yeah, you need to understand bash programming language, shell. There are basically two programming languages which was very important for cyber security. The first is bash and the shell programming language, which is basically very important. Also, if you have the knowledge about python with network automation, remember python with network automation, then you can say you can use it. The DHCP is basically dynamic host configuration protocol, which is used for dynamically, you can say, configuring IP addresses. Even there was a new that an hacker deleted the dirty videos. Should we have there was a new See, there are many person in the internet who do multiple things on internet. There are people who can use their hacking knowledge to secure the word. There are people who use their hacking knowledge to also not securing but doing wrong things. So you can do. There are multiple people who use their knowledge to securing. So dark web is basically a place you can say you can find the best and the worst thing both. From dark web, sir, what it mean by dark web and where it can be? See, dark web is basically the is a web like surface web. We are right now on surface web, and also there's a dark web where there are multiple things which are basically illegal and there are things which was legal. So dark web, surfing dark web. Remember, surfing dark web is not illegal, but doing illegal activities on dark web is illegal. So if you surf on dark web, it is not legal, but if you do illegal activities, it is illegal. How is the kingpin of the dark web got caught like? See, if people, there are multiple people who are got caught in the dark web because they are not using some type of proper security fundamentals. Some people who got caught in the dark web is because they uses the public network or sometimes they use a private or local networks. If a person who is using dark web and is professional, he use multiple VPNs before connecting to dark web. See, is blockchain related to cyber security? You can say everything was related to cyber security because cyber security was used at every place. It was used in blockchain, it was used in development, so it was available at every place. So is the system command enough, and how many should we need to see? You don't need to remember any command. System command is enough for you. You just simply need to remember few commands so that you can do it. You just need to remember how you can go from one directory to another directory, how can create a file, how can you delete a file. Only these commands. You don't need to understand multiple commands. We can see in the next classes, in next again classes, how we can transfer, how we can see someone's location using the IP addresses. So as per I know, there is 95% of data is transferred in that. Yeah, this is right because surface web has only 3%, and all the remaining is dark web and deep web. And dark web has a very big platform where you can use it. Even in dark web, you can find multiple things if you use it properly. Can do phishing attack? Yeah, we can do phishing attack, but phishing attack in Kaiser. Yeah, we can do it. In the next few classes, we are going to see how we do phishing attacks. This is all for today. I hope we will meet tomorrow. And tomorrow we are going to see how we use Linux operating system to different things. And one more thing before going from here, I want all of you to download a file. Download a file. I'll just mention the file in the resource channel. Please download that particular file. So let's meet tomorrow in the class. Have a good night, all of you. Right now I'm leaving the class.